There's a book you can read to your children that will make your job as a parent a lot easier. This book will teach them lessons in character, how to distinguish right from wrong, about gratitude, respect, and perseverance. And that's in the opening chapters.
You live. You die. Now we're talking.
Parents have been reading this book to their children for a very long time. It's one reason it's a perpetual bestseller. This book, of course, is the Bible.
Disappointed!
Shit, I was really hoping that Johnny Moore was talking about Batman. I really like Batman, and I would have loved it if my mom had read me Batman comics when I was a kid.
And you don't have to be religious to read it, and your children don't have to be religious to enjoy it and get a whole lot out of it.
Now I wonder what story Johnny Moore is going to recommend that we read to our kids.
Consider the story of David and Goliath. 9 feet tall, clad in armor, Goliath is the most fearsome warrior of his day. How could he not be? He's 9 feet tall, for goodness sake. Who wants to go against a giant like that? No Israelite, that's for sure. Except for one, a skinny shepherd boy named David. This boy has 3 things going for him: courage, a slingshot, and faith that God is with him. As he strides out onto the battlefield to face Goliath in single combat, he holds the future of the Israelite nation, not to mention his own life, in his hands. Wrapped up in all of this tension and drama are valuable lessons that any child can profit from. David refuses to be intimidated by a bully. He's willing to act, to show resolve even in the face of his own self-doubt. His actions paint a portrait of true heroism in the face of true danger. Isn't that the kind of strength we want our children to emulate? To be able to defend themselves and later their families and their country.
Wow, David and Goliath sounds like an amazing fucking story. Why the hell would I want to watch Captain America or Iron Man, where I could gather infinite wisdom from David and Goliath while being entertained at the same time? Why wouldn't I want to read that to my kids? I only wish that there was a sequel so I could find out what happens next. Oh wait, what about the story of how David got together with his first wife? Let's see what that looks like. 1 Samuel 18, verses 7 through 30. Then Saul said to David, "Here is my eldest daughter Merab. I will give her to you for a wife. Only be valiant for me and fight the Lord's battles." For Saul thought, "Let not my hand be against him, but let the hand of the Philistines be against him." And David said to Saul, "Who am I, and who are my relatives, my father's clan in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king?" But at the time when Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, she was given to Adriel, the Mahalathite, for a wife. Now Saul's daughter, Michal, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. Saul thought, "Let me give her to him, that she may be a snare for him, and that the hand of the Philistines may be against him." Therefore Saul said to David a second time, "You shall now be my son-in-law." And Saul commanded his servants, "Speak to David in private and say, 'Behold, the king has delight in you, and all his servants love you. Now then, become the king's son-in-law.'" And Saul's servants spoke those words in the ears of David. And David said, "Does it seem to you a little thing to become the king's son-in-law, since I am a poor man and have no reputation?" And the servants of Saul told him thus, and so did David speak. Then Saul said, "Thus shall you say to David, the king desires no bride price, except 100 foreskins of the Philistines, that he may be avenged of the king's enemies." Now Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law. Before the time had expired, David arose and went along with his men, and killed 200 of the Philistines. And David brought their foreskins, which were given in full number to the king, that he might become the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him his daughter Michal for a wife. But when Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him, Saul was even more afraid of David. So Saul was David's enemy continually. Then the commanders of the Philistines came out to battle, and as often as they came out, David had more success than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was highly esteemed. Does this even warrant a response? Saul offered his second daughter to David, the hero from the first movie, and man of God, in return for 200 Philistine dick skins. This means that David had to touch 200 dead penises in order to get married to his first wife. I must have missed the bukkake part of The Lion King, where Simba had to go through ritualistic ejaculation before he could become king of Pride Rock. Now here's the thing. When you pick up a book of nursery rhymes to read to your kid, some of them are going to be good, and some of them haven't aged so well. I personally don't like saying the word cock robin out loud in front of children, along with the content of the nursery rhyme, which is kind of morbid. I definitely suggest checking it out. And if Johnny wants to view the Bible as a collection of comic books or nursery rhymes that I can accept or dismiss based upon my own values and sensibilities, I can actually get on board with that. What I would question is if the Bible is the best way to get the message of resolve in the face of self-doubt across, when the little engine that could essentially does the same thing minus the part where women are traded on the black market in return for dick skins. But I'll just let Johnny do Johnny. I'm not here to kink shame.